Yeah, it's true. I am using the term maggot unironically to describe Make America Great Again. This shouldn't be a surprise. This is the story arc. It's like you're watching a drama. If you have been following the show, the tens of you, thank you for joining. If you've been following the channel, you've seen the arc. I've had the thumbnail from October 7th. MAGA's, basically, what did I say? MAGA's dead or MAGA's done? Oh, it's done for real. It's done. Done. And I'm defining this by if you support this right here. This is the story that got me triggered. The headline that we saw today was that Marco Rubio, who MAGA is now cheering, who's leading the State Department, problematic, right? Do we still agree on that or not? It doesn't matter. I couldn't care less, actually. I couldn't care less if you agree with that or not, because it's not up for debate that I am not a Marco Rubio person. Not a fan, not a supporter, don't want anything to do with him. Having him be a part of your administration is problematic.
The U.S. State Department's deployment of artificial intelligence, AI, to monitor and revoke student visas based on social media activity represents a seismic shift in immigration enforcement.
I just want to stop to make sure we understand that. The U.S. State Department, underneath Donald Trump, is using artificial intelligence to monitor and revoke student visas based on social media activity. If you support that, then I am unequivocally calling you a maggot. However the left uses it, I do not care. I'm commandeering it, left. Now, I might mean it for a different reason than they do. I don't care. That's the new gear. I hate when people define themselves by what they're not, so I'm not actually doing that. But that's where we are. And things move fast. Donald Trump has Elon Musk on his side. He has technology on his side, and he is moving lightning quick. So what that means is the takes are going to come lightning quick. The takes are going to go all over the place. This is a roller coaster ride. And right now, this is not a good part for MAGA.
Raising urgent questions about constitutional rights, due process, and the ethical use of emerging technologies. This report analyzes the legal and operational framework of Secretary of State.
This report is tailored and curated by me through various sources. Some of the sources are LA Times, or Latin Times, sorry. Axios, IOC, and 54 others are what went to this. I did put my opinion in it to say, here, this is what I want slanted, with the facts to back it up.
Marco Rubio's Catch and Revoke initiative. Its alignment with constitutional
principles. Okay, that's where we have to stop. That's where I didn't like. Things are getting too goofy right now. Catch and revoke, playing off of the catch and release. It's getting too cute. It doesn't need to be that. You came in saying you were going to do deportation. Where are the deportations at? Last I checked, you're doing I don't know if the numbers are being released any longer. Last I saw from the numbers, it wasn't even close to where Biden was. The border's more secure, so there's less encounters, people trying to get over. What do you want for that? A cookie? That's how it's supposed to be. You want DAP for that? I'm happy for it. It's good. I'm not giving any DAP for that, though. Deportation, that would have been that's extra credit. That's where you get from a C to, that wouldn't be extra credit, but that's how you would get to an A. You want a C? Close the border. The border should be closed no matter who the president is. I'm not giving you credit for that. I'm not giving you DAP for that. I'm not giving you props for that. Not to mention all the actions in behalf of other countries, or really one other country, take it down from a C to a D to an F. What are the things that bring it up? The only thing I can think of is the pardon for J6ers. That brings it up beyond a C, so maybe you're at a D now. Let's get back to it.
Broader implications of algorithmic governance in national security policy. Legal foundations and executive authority under the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, of 1952 The Secretary of State holds broad authority to revoke visas if a foreign national is deemed a threat to national security or public safety.
There was some confusion on that. The courts are all over the place. And when you look into the law, Amy Coney Barrett, terrible, just an awful justice. And we know the ones that are supposedly on the left are just terrible because they're ideologues. And and even Clarence Thomas, I've had problems with his rulings. You really got Alito. Alito's the only one that I kind of rock with 90% of the time. And Thomas is, I don't know, 75. You look at all the court cases, Thomas is off on a lot of them. When it comes to protecting the regime, Thomas is one of the top. So you look into it and you find out how corrupt and how ridiculous the decisions are. It doesn't take long. And I'm not talking about the Supreme Court decisions. I'm talking about the Constitution. The Constitution's written very simple and plain on purpose. It's not legalese. The president does, if you're inviting somebody here via visa, they do not get due process for getting booted out of the country. I do not have a problem with, I don't support why they're booting people out, but that's not unconstitutional. The act of, and it's really Donald Trump, he's giving the power to Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, I hate it, but going through and saying you're anti-Sem, I don't like you, whatever, just generally, it doesn't matter what the reason is. They can boot you out of the country because you're here as a guest. I was discussing with some people on the left, Nico House, who's great, but he's wrong on the visas. I am flat out not qualifying my statement unequivocally. It is up to the executive branch. It is not up to anyone else. And the executive branch is one person. When you invite somebody to the country, the Congress is not involved. The judicial system is not involved. So there is no due process if you want to revoke the visa, period. If you want to charge someone criminally, that's a whole different thing. That's not what we're seeing here with Marco Rubio saying you're here on a student visa or whatever. I don't know all these different type of visas. You're here on a visa, and for whatever reason, we don't like how you acted. So it's like you had a guest come through your home. Maybe you don't like how he looked at your wife, or he ate the food from the fridge, or he said something unsavory. It doesn't matter. You can go get, just like Martin, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. That's the part of being on a visa. That's part of it. I am not going against that. So let's continue on. That is not the issue here at all.
The Trump administration's January 2025 executive order expanded this authority to target individuals engaging in pro-jihadist rhetoric or hateful ideology, explicitly linking anti-Semitic protests to visa eligibility. The State Department's AI-driven program reviews social media posts, news reports, and academic disciplinary records to identify visa holders who express support for Hamas or participate in protests critical of Israel. While non-citizens on visas lack the full protection.
Is that what you guys want? I'm not looking to argue the JQ right now. Obviously, we can do that at another time or later in the live, whenever. But right now, is that what you want?
The next clip is ready below. Welcome to After Show Carnage.